Anvil and keep him overnight and bring him to the pizzeria in place of Marty Jannetty. So he's basically said, fuck you, Dave. I'm taking Anvil to this place, and that's it. Well, that wasn't the deal. So now I got to explain to his family why he's not coming home that night and why I left and everything wasn't taken care of. So after the family had some issues with me, they came to the conclusion that it wasn't me and it was obviously Matt. So on the way to the pizzeria, he took his friend's car and he got either pulled over or the car broke down. Long story short, he had to leave the car on the side of the road because he had no license. His license is suspended. Now, Anvil's in a different car with one of his buddies who we're going to talk to later on, this kid Randall. And Anvil's calling me up, cursing me out, saying that he never told Matt he wanted to stay over, whatever. Long story short, they went to the pizzeria. I don't know how that money issue went or got paid or not, but that night at the hotel, I guess Matt didn't have money for the hotel. He asked Anvil to use his credit card for incidentals. Now, the next day, I got a phone call from Anvil, even more pissed off, telling me that his credit card bill is like $500 to cover incidentals plus 2 nights of hotel. So I guess 2 rooms that they charged on his credit card supposedly. I wasn't there for that. I don't know the whole story with that. This is what Anvil told me. So basically he fucked Jim over, fucked me over by keeping him the extra night. When it went time to get paid, normally talent gets paid up front.
Right.
Friday night came, nobody was mentioned about money. I wasn't concerned about it again because it's a friend. It's like me and you doing business. I'm not going to say, Kev, you got to give us the money right now. The next day comes, Anvil's like, where's my money? I said, let's go over to Matt. Let's talk to him right now. Anvil and Matt left the room. They handled the situation with the money. Anvil told me he got paid. Fine. Well, Sunday comes and Earl comes up to me and goes, I haven't got paid $1 yet. Let's go over and get my money. He was owed X amount of dollars. Matt was short $200. Didn't have it. So he asked Earl Hebner, who's 66, 67 years old, do you have PayPal? Like, why would he have PayPal, This guy's a millionaire. What would he need PayPal for? So he basically told Earl, I don't have your money. I have to go through PayPal or I'll send you a check. Earl's like, that's not how it works. And I'm like,
right.
Send me to PayPal. I'll go to the ATM. I'll take the money out. That's how I had to handle it. So I had to go to the ATM. I know it's stupid, but pay the stupid fee out of my pocket. Get the money. Pay Earl. So he basically screwed over. He didn't have the money up front. He was relying on the signings to pay these guys.
Which most do. Let's put it out there that
I would say so.
I would say 85% of them bank on the gimmick. How many people really walk around with, like, if they bring in 3 talents, walk around with like $4,000 in their pocket? Right.
I would say 95% of them don't.
Yeah.
Right. But now let me ask you this: if it snowed in Buffalo, Batavia, whatever it was, and 2 people showed up to the show.
Oh no, we ran into that with Legends of the Ring. If you remember, we had that terrible nor'easter, that weather, and we were all praying that people still showed up, and it was slow.
A big event, wasn't it?
Was it a big event or no? It was Legends because they brought Bob Orton.
Oh, right. That was the last one. Okay.
Yeah, and we were all a little nervous, with the weather, but I mean it was still a decent showing. People got there, but again, we were all in that situation where if the fans didn't show up because of the weather, we would have had to start taking money out of our pockets.
Right. So it's like now, okay, so if 2 people did show up, and I got to go to my pocket or my bank, and you have $0 in there, what do? This guy can't afford to buy pizza, but he's booking guys for thousands of dollars.
Yep.
So now you make yourself look bad, but you also make me look bad because I work with these guys on a regular basis. It's not just business. They call me up just to bullshit.
Yeah.
And, we have a good relationship.
Yeah, you build up... If you deal with people enough and you do the right thing, you build up a relationship with them. I mean, I've had text banter back and forth with Bob Orton, April Hunter, and obviously Casey Carlisle and others. And Brian Blair, we booked for this coming big event in March with Jim Brunzell. And the reason why was because I had him on my show. We continued to talk after that. So I felt comfortable going to him, and he felt comfortable saying yes.
Right.
So I understand. And if you get screwed, regardless if it's your fault or not, you get screwed over, it affects your business, your reputation, and your friendship with these people.
100%. You know, Earl knew the situation from the get-go. You know, he pretty much saw it, how it was going to be ran.
Mm-hmm.
He was very skeptical about this whole situation. He doesn't like doing things, really. And when he does things, he doesn't like working for other people. So, like I said, I had to be in town with him.
Mm-hmm.
Not to babysit, but I guess you want to say act like an agent to him. I mean, me and Earl are great friends, so he knows the situation where, you know, how I got screwed over, you know, etc. Now, also the whole thing with Matt, we have, he sent me in a bunch of Dean Malenko figures for the big event that we just passed.
Right.
I had Dean Malenko at the big event, and I got them signed, you know. So, where's the money for that? You know? So, he owes me money for that, you know. He owes me money for the plane ticket. He owes me money for, I even threw in the PayPal fees and shit. I don't know, why do I have to pay for this stuff?
No, you don't.
And
you don't. If he would have sent it right, nobody would have had to pay the damn fee.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then, you know, the ATM fee, I know it's like $4, but, you know, it's frustrating that I have to lay out anything for somebody.
So basically, you know, for him to send you $200, it costs you about $6.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's $6 in a hotel is 2 sodas. You know, that's 2 bottles of water for your talent.
Right. And, you know, you're in the vendor business yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you got talent in, you want to make sure that they're taken care of.
Absolutely.
You know, the convention did have water, apples, oranges, and
which
yogurt.
which is pretty good because a lot of them don't even have that much.
But if you want a soda, he would say, "Oh, they only got water in there. Go to the store and get them a soda."
Yeah.
If offer them instead of an apple, do you want chips? Do you want a burger? Come on,
something of substance.
You got to take care of these guys.
Yeah.
And you know, I know in the past he's had some guys that backed out on him, and I always helped them out. But it gets to a point where you can't help these guys that continue fucking people over.
Yeah, I agree. You think we should bring in Mr. Mike Ring right now?
Yeah, I heard that he has some complaints. Let's see what he has to say. I heard he's another victim.
Let's see if he's ready. Yeah, he's ready.
This will be good.
This should be interesting.
Hello?
Hey, Mike.
Hello?
You there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Just gotta shut this door.
Is that a picture?
It's a small picture.
Alright, what can I do for you, fellas?
I heard you wanted to chime in on this whole Matt Triosi situation.
Alright, what do you want to know? I can tell you a lot.
You know what? Give us a timeline. How you met Matt and where it maybe started to go a little awry.
Alright, I'll start off by telling you that it actually started going bad. I first met him. He was actually getting ripped off by another autograph dealer, to be honest with you, and he was asking me how to get his money and his stuff back from the guy.
That's ironic.
And I was working on it for him because I actually help out on a couple other Facebook pages to make sure people aren't buying fake autographs and that kind of stuff, because that used to be my gig in LA for, you know, good over 15 years. So I was just trying to help him out get his money back. Now, that didn't work for him, but all of a sudden he started asking me about making advertisements for his page and for his signings and shows, because I do graphic design work as a business. They started asking me about how much it would cost. I told him, you know, I go, if I was going to do it, because I knew he was a small business, I was willing to do it for a couple $100 a month. He said, fine. And we started working from there. And actually for like a good 3 or 4 months, no problems ever arose whatsoever. He was making his payments on time, having no problems. Then he asked me, because he knew I had a bunch of autograph inventory that I was trying to get rid of, and he specialized in like wrestling, and I don't have anyone that buys wrestling anymore. I mean, I did when I was a kid, but I don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to get rid of some of the stuff. So I said, yeah, I'll sell it to you for like really cheap. And it was like good stuff too. Like there was decent like John Cena's, Stone Cold Steve Austin, some smaller stuff. A lot of like older divas like Candice Michelle or Maria Kanellis, that kind of stuff. And I sold it to him for really cheap just because I had no one to take it from him. So about the time that he got that stuff, that's around the same time everything started falling apart with him. All of a sudden, PayPal was screwing him out of money. He wasn't able to pay some bills. So I started giving him like some breaks on some of the work I was doing for him. Like instead of paying me $75 a week, I'm like, I'll only take $40 this week. He's like, oh my gosh, you're such a godsend. And then then I got hurt at work, and I couldn't move my back. I had a hard time moving because of my back, all this other stuff. And he's like, oh well, you know what? I can't afford this wrestling stuff. I'm gonna send it back to you. I'm really sorry that this happened to you. Blah blah blah. But I don't want you to be held up with your money. I said, okay. A week went by, and he started telling me that, oh, I sent it. It's on its way. I could send you a copy, or I can email you a copy of the receipt. And I said, well, I'd rather just have the tracking number, and that would be simpler enough. And he's like, oh, I don't have that right now. I'm like, but if you have the receipt, the tracking number is right on top of that page.
Yes.
And he said, oh, it's not on this one. It's not on this one. And he sent me a copy of the email or the receipt that I had. But the receipt didn't actually say where the item was going. So, and then a week later, it didn't show up again. That tracking number was not in the United States Postal Service's system. So he must have finagled the receipt in some way to make it look like at least he shipped something that had that tracking number. So then I started asking him for the money that he owed me for work, and he's like, I sent that in the package with it too. I'm like, oh, that's great. I go, so I should get it any time now. He's like, yeah, it'll be there Wednesday. If not, I'm going to resend it again. And I told him, well, how can you resend my autograph book? Because, you really just can't send the same stuff over and over again. You only had one of it. You can't send another one. He's like, oh, no. If it doesn't show up at your place by this Wednesday, it's going to show up at mine, one or the other. So Wednesday went by. Nothing showed up here. I asked him about it. He says, oh, something's wrong with the post office. They're ripping me off, too. And then he started offering me pictures of the cash that he sent. Not like the tracking number still, but like, here's a picture of the money I sent you. Because he only owed me like $300 for work. He owed me more than $300 for autographs. So, I mean, if I had someone to buy all that stuff, like at anywhere near retail price, I could have sold, like, especially like the John Cena 11x14s and those Tito Ortiz 16x20s that I shipped him. I could have sold it for a whole lot more than $500, but, trust me, I was trusting him. He was doing very good at what his problems were and everything like that. I didn't foresee any problems. No one had ever said anything. He had actually done a couple of signings before I sent him this stuff. People were very happy with the service he provided. It was kind of funny because his Facebook page, before I started helping him, had 2 friends and 2 likes on it. All of a sudden, he had like 200 or 300. And all of a sudden, now he can't pay me. I'm like, well, all these customers that are showing up to this thing, you don't have any money from that. And he would tell me, oh, I fronted it to the payments that I got to make for this guy and this guy and this guy. And one of those guys that he had fronted the payment for that he said was that, I think his name's Marty Jannetty, the guy who's actually ripping him all over the internet now. It's a wrestler that he had promised to do a show with. Apparently, Marty actually posted on his Twitter page that he had fans contacting him saying he wasn't coming, they were upset, and that Matt was not paying him. So apparently,
there was a lot of different stories with that. Marty Jannetty was supposed to be at that show supposedly, and Matt supposedly said he laid out $500 for a deposit for him. When fans were coming up to us, because I was at that show, they were asking us what happened to Marty Jannetty, and he told one fan, oh, he was too drunk to come. Then the other one said there was flight issues. There was a whole bunch of different stories floating around about why Marty Jannetty wasn't there.
Well, what's funny is you say you were there. I showed up there on Saturday.
Okay, I was there. I was with Earl and Jim.
Because did you notice that he was gone for like 2 or 3 hours at that show on Saturday?
Yeah, he was dealing with a lot, I guess, with his girlfriend or whatnot. They were supposed to be getting married the same day and this and that. I don't really know the whole story with that. And he was saying that his partner Randall, and there was another guy there. Every time that Matt walked away, there was